We are live here. We have Sandra here
And Lewis.
with First Class RV Adventures, and we are super pumped for our special guest today, the one and only Brandon Jeremy Davis. Whoop whoop. And we've been looking forward to this all week. You guys get ready to be inspired and just see somebody else that is going through the entrepreneurship journey, has no excuses, is young, and just like ready to share with us. So Brandon, go ahead and let us know who you are and where you're from.
The first time, my name is Brandon Davis. I'm 24 years old, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. So I'm from the Midwest, and I'm from the state of Michigan. And basically, my journey has been very interesting to this point. I've definitely seen a lot. I've traveled all over the country. I've met a lot of people, connected with a lot of people, and my life is interesting because most everyone in my family are educators. So I really come from an educational background and everything like that. And also I come from several people in my family who were former athletes in sports.
Oh wow. So are you like pretty much the first kind of entrepreneur in the family?
Yes, I'm the first entrepreneur in the family, yes.
That's awesome. Well, hats off to you. So that will lead us kind of to the next question then. How did this happen? Since when have you been an entrepreneur? Like, how did you figure out that you were different? Because it is a different mentality being an entrepreneur.
Yes, 100%, Sandra. It's a different mentality and a different, way of thinking and just, looking at different things. Well, how I got to this point as an entrepreneur is really kind of, I don't know, just kind of out of the blue, really. In the beginning, I was about, let's say, around 20 years old. And at the time, I was doing like everyone else, my family has done before me. I, went to high school, graduated. And then after that, I attended college, and I attended a community college called Schoolcraft College. And I was in college. I was attending college there for about, I'd probably say about three and a half years. And then one summer, back in the summer, well, really not the summer, but the spring of 2013, I was working a part-time job at St. John Inn's golf course, and also it's a hotel. So it's like a hotel and golf course. And at the time, I was working about maybe 30, 35 hours a week. And, it was a good job. It was probably about my third, fourth job. So, I've have had a lot of, experience inside the job, world and, the workforce and everything like that. So I was just working a job, that spring and summer while going to school part-time. So, I was just working my job and everything like that. And I would kind of be the cart guy. I was the one who would, make sure the carts were all clean and nice and everything like that. And then also, as the customers and the golfers would come to play, 9 rounds of golf or 18 rounds of golf, and there were even some corporate events as well at the golf course, I would, help them with their bags. I would help them with, different things like that. And then all of a sudden, at the end of that, summer into the fall, my brother Jared, who's about 2 years younger than me, he was just like, well, hey, Brandon, do you like your job and everything like that? Because I see that you're working a lot and everything like that, and I don't know if you like it that much. And I was just like, well, yeah, it's okay. But I was kind of looking for something different because at the time I was working about 35 hours a week outside in like a dark blue, like a dark navy blue shirt. And it's funny, it was almost like a Sean John shirt. It said SJ on it. So this is like a dark blue shirt. And I had to wear like khaki pants. And it was in the spring and summertime. So it was like 75, 80 degrees. We could barely wear shorts. I had to wear like flannel pants or like khaki pants. So I was real hot, cleaning those golf carts and, going around the course and everything like that. So really about the end of that summer 2013, my brother was just like, well, hey, Brandon, I don't know, if you like your job or not, but, you should check out this opportunity, come to this event. And I was just like, well, what is it? And I was just very skeptical, and I had no idea what it was. I thought he was trying to sell me something, pitch me something. I was just not with it. Like, I was totally negative with it. But then I was just like, well, what the heck? What do you have to lose by going to this event with my brother and checking out this opportunity, whatever he's doing? So, after that, I attended the event at my neighbor's house, who, was at the time, he was about 17, 18 years old. And I saw that he started his own business. I was just like, wow, okay, well, that's different. So at the time, I saw probably about 20 to 30 young people all gathered at my neighbor's house right around the corner from me, all outside, and I see, you know, nothing but Mercedes Benzes and BMWs and really, really nice cars. I'm just like, wow, what the heck is going on? Like, is this a big party? Is this a hangout? Is this a get together? Something like, what is going on? Where I see a bunch of young people, you know, driving $50,000, $75,000, even $100,000 cars, you know, and they're parked, like 5 or 6 of them are parked inside the driveway. It was crazy. So I was just like, okay, what's going on? But I saw a few of my friends and a few of my brother's friends that we attended high school with, and even, you know, lived in the community, lived in the area. So it kind of felt me like, okay, well, what's going on? We're just coming to hang out. But I saw that it was much bigger than that. And so then I attended my first meeting, and at the time it was a business event. So there were really about maybe, you know, 5 to 6, 7 guys, and then they were speaking, sharing their stories. And then that's how I got introduced to entrepreneurship and the industry of network marketing. And then I saw, you know, kind of, you know, what it was like to, you know, start your own business, but not only start my own business, but be my own boss, work my own hours, and kind of be able to make my own income, you know, with not a cap. Because at my job, I was only paid about $8.50 an hour, and I was only, you know, getting, you know, paid for the time I was working, the hours I was working. So this was just so different, and I was freaked out. But then after a while, I was just like, okay, cool.
That is amazing to me, Brendan. I love your story. I have a similar story. I was first introduced to network marketing when I was 17 years old, and I was working at an airport. I was actually a technician for a cart system. You know, those little carts that you push in the airport. They're like $3, $5. You can push your luggage around. And
Yeah.
I had a gentleman, you know, introduce residual income networking and all this stuff to me. And I started out just like you, brother. And I dove deep, failed miserably because, you know, there is a learning curve in these businesses. But I started just like you, and almost everybody starts just like you, man. And for you to see the value in, you know, business online, bro, it just lets everybody know that you're a leader, you know.
That's awesome.
You saw the value in it. You saw people actually making it happen, and you dove in. You didn't say, you know, you didn't have excuses. You didn't do any of that stuff that a lot of people do. You said, I'm going to go in, I'm going to learn, I'm going to make this happen. And that's why you're here today. I appreciate you, Brandon.
That's awesome.
This is amazing.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's really, really awesome to learn a little bit of that we didn't know. Now, as far as, so basically you immediately dove in, right? So it's been how many years now?
Yeah, I immediately dove in. I started on about September 30th, 2013. So it's been about 3.5, almost 4 years in September. It'll be 4 years since I decided to become an entrepreneur, start my own business, and be my own boss.
That's awesome. Now,
Boom.
here's a little question though. Because I know you said that you pretty much, you know, it just kind of like happened. You had never really thought about it. And that's always interesting to me because I feel like somewhere along the line it was in your subconscious. You just never realized it. Like I feel like every entrepreneur, and this is just from personal experience, and you talking to Lewis and tons of other entrepreneurs, there's always a point somewhere in our childhood where we are a little bit different from our friends, I feel like. And can you recall any
Yes.
time that you were like, you had those entrepreneur things come out, but you didn't realize what it was at the time? Can you recall anything like that, or any times like that?
I would have to recall a time probably right around when I was at the young age of, I'd probably say around probably like 12, 13-ish, around middle school age, when I was about in the 7th, 8th grade. Because at the time, like, you know, I like school, and I'm all for formal education and everything like that. You know, my mom has a degree, my dad has a degree, my grandmother has a degree. My brother, he's going to school right now at Michigan State University. He's getting ready to graduate with his degree in HR, human resources, in December from Michigan State in the winter. So, like, you know, school was like cool for me and everything like that. But I always just had this dream, and I had this fantasy of, you know, what my life would look like if I, you know, became a professional athlete one day and I went pro, whether it be in the NBA, the NFL, or everything like that. Because growing up, I was a huge sports fan. So I'm a huge fan of Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, James Harden, Michael Phelps, Shaun White, who's a professional, skateboarder, and now he switched over from no, he's actually a professional snowboarder. I take it back, Shaun White. And I've always been, a fan of, professional athletes. And, I had this dream and fantasy of, man, if I can make it big in basketball or in football or in some type of sport or whatnot and earn millions and millions of dollars, that would be, really great for me. And I could have, just a crazy lifestyle. I could, eat whatever I wanted. I could travel around the world. I could help a lot of people. I could help my family, and I could do just amazing things. So around 12, 13, around the age of 12 and 13, I was just really, really kind of just, thinking about and fantasizing, okay, what would my life be like if literally I could just do something crazy and out the ordinary? And I just saw like a lot of my, friends and a lot of my mom's friends, just kind of, they are formal, they're really, really smart. Like they have their formal education, they have, a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, a PhD, and all these different accolades and all these different degrees on paper. And, they were in a career or whatnot, and they say like, yeah, they would tell you like, oh yeah, I like my job. My job is great. Life is good. I'm blessed and everything like that. But at the end of the day, they weren't really kind of living the life and the lifestyle that I wanted to live. So I thought if I would just, if I could hit it big in a sport or a profession where I could earn lots and lots of money, that would be my ticket out, and I could kind of, do whatever I wanted to and achieve freedom.
Awesome. I like that. So that is pretty much where your entrepreneur type side, because that's kind of what happens. There's risks involved. There is dreaming, a lot of thinking outside
mindset,
the box, helping
paradigm
people.
shift.
Yeah, like helping people.
Yes, 100%.
But the paradigm shift that he's talking about. So I could see how kind of your paradigm, which was everybody had, their formal education, that kind of, not that it forced you, but it kind of was programmed into you. Like I have 3 degrees, and and I was the first generation actually in my family to have a degree. But it is interesting how that happens. And then I just went against everything I learned growing up and did my own thing. But as far
Right.
as the whole dream that you had, so what happened with that, with the whole sports thing? And did you pursue it? Did you just fantasize about it, or?
No, I actually did pursue it, Sandra. What I did was growing up since I can remember from like the age of 4 or 5 years old, growing up in Detroit, Michigan, I used to play T-ball. So like I used to play T-ball and everything like that. So I was really, really active in the community and sports. I played T-ball growing up, and my mom has several pictures of me as like a 3, 4, 5-year old, and I'm at the plate and everything like that. And there's like the big T-ball, and then there's the baseball on top, and hitting it and everything like that, and playing T-ball. And then she has, pictures of years and years and years, back in the late 90s of me, being part of that T-ball team on the street we used to call Rosedale when we lived we lived on the west side of Detroit. So growing up, I was always, a big sports fan. I actually played sports. Like I played baseball growing up. I played T-ball. I was really big in basketball, like throughout from about, from about 5th grade all the way up until about the 9th and 10th grade of high school. I was playing basketball. And I was playing basketball in like little rec leagues at like the community centers and, the rec centers, around my community. And I just love the game of basketball. I love, the feeling of, dribbling down the court and passing to my teammates and hitting that shot from 3-point and, driving to the hole and just playing basketball and playing with my friends. So basketball is my true love. And, I just wanted to, become the next Kobe Bryant. I wanted to become the next LeBron James. I had big dreams and aspirations of going to, playing, varsity basketball for my high school team, Plymouth High School at the time, and then also maybe getting a Division I scholarship to a big school like a Duke, like a Kansas, like a Kentucky, like University of Florida and everything like that. And then, seeing my dream come true one day of making it to the NBA, making it to the pros. So sports was always something that was within me. And I also ran track and field in high school, my junior year of high school. So I was an all-around athlete.
Isn't it amazing that when we're young, we have so many dreams and ambitions and goals and all these things, and then a lot of times people, once they hit about 20, 25, like all those things, like life hits them, you know, they start having kids, they start struggling on their own, you know, they have a house, they have car payment, light bill, all these bills due. And then all of a sudden, all those dreams go out the window. And then you have Brandon, all right? You have yourself, and you're like, no, I'm making these things happen. I'm gonna dive deep. I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna apply, and I'm gonna listen. That's one of the beautiful things about you, Brendan. Like, I know you learn from your surroundings. You learn from everyone that you connect with online and offline. That's a beautiful thing. A lot of people can't do that. Hats off to you, my friend.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing that.
Thank you, Lewis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. And yeah, you know, it all has to do with, you know, a lot of my mentors and people who have, you know, helped me along the way and, you know, who I've listened to. And, you know, I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, there have been a lot of people in my life that have been a big influence, like my mom, you know, my dad, my younger brother, Jared, and everything like that. My grandfather, who became very, very successful. And this is where my background in sports comes from, because my grandfather actually, he played college football. He played college football in the 1950s for a school called Westminster College, which is in Pennsylvania. It's like, I think, a Division III school now. And then he also played basketball and ran track and field. But my grandfather, I always just looked up to him, and, you know, growing up, and he's deceased now, but I'm proud to say that, you know, my grandfather, through all his hard work and determination and whatnot, he's in the College Football Hall of Fame. My grandfather's in the College Football Hall of Fame with some of the greatest college football players to ever play, like Barry Sanders and Darryl Green, and so many, you know, people that, you know, really have played at the Division I college level and in the NFL. But unfortunately, my grandfather turned down the NFL because he was actually drafted. He was drafted in, I think it was either the first round, the second round, by the San Francisco 49ers in the 1950s. But due to civil rights and everything like that that was going around at the time, they wouldn't let him play quarterback. And he was a quarterback, and they wouldn't let him play quarterback because he was African American.
Wow. Wow. Hats off to your grandpa, though. That's amazing. And like in the 50s to be part of, what an honor. Wow. So you got a lot of your tenacity from your grandfather, too, it sounds like. Because that's a lot.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's I know he's proud.
He's shining down on you, my friend.
So how did we get from the sports world to kind of where you're at now? Like, how did this all bridge together? What happened in that little bit of journey? It's a journey. So what exactly happened?
Well, yeah, Centric. Well, it's definitely been a journey. You know, it's been up and down. It's been a process, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Like, it's been amazing. And really just what transpired from the sports world to where I am as an entrepreneur and a business owner and everything like that was just seeing, like, all of my friends and, you know, others around me that I went to high school with, they, you know, went to college and everything like that. And, you know, they graduated, got their degrees, and, you know, some of them are teachers, some of them are going to law school to become lawyers, some of them are going to school to become doctors. You know, I've had several of my friends, you know, graduate from the University of Michigan, Western Michigan, and a lot of different schools around the country. And just seeing them how, you know, due to, you know, the high cost of college and, you know, what it costs to, you know, obtain your degree and everything like that, and obtain, you know, a 4-year degree, even, you know, a 5-year degree, was just a lot of money that they would have to be putting aside and putting down. So really what just led me to this point was just like, if I go off, and I just want to make it clear, because I am for school, I am for education and whatnot, but, you know, being in a family of, you know, educators and people who have graduated now, there was a lot of pressure on me. There's a lot of pressure on me. It was just like, okay, Brandon, you either, you know, you're going to go to school, you know, you're going to finish school, you're going to earn your degree, you're going to get a 9-to-5 job or a 5-to-5 job or a career that pays, you know, $30,000 or $40,000 a year. Or if you don't decide to do school, you have to get a part-time job, or you have to get a full-time job, and you have to work, and you have to work and everything like that. And that was always instilled into me from my dad and my mom and my grandmother and my grandparents and whatnot, because they're from that time. They're from that era where, you know, school wasn't that much, you know, money at the time in the 80s and the 70s, 60s, and 50s, whatnot, that they could afford, you know, a degree and also work and everything like that and pay for the school, where now, you know, you can't even do that. So it was just a choice and a decision that I had to make, where it was just like, okay, am I going to go ahead and do what everyone's doing what my friends and my family and everyone's telling me to do and go down that path, the employee route? Or am I going to go ahead and chase my dreams? Am I going to go after what I wanted and what I see for myself? And, it kind of hit me when I attended a business meeting in one of my former companies in network marketing and everything like that, where I got started, and saw a friend and a great friend of mine to this day, Luke Kessler. And I saw how, my friend Luke Kessler, here he is, 20, 21 years old. He attended Michigan State University. He was very, very smart. He got into the business college of Michigan State, which is very hard to do. Like, you have to have, at least a 3.3 GPA, a 3.6 GPA, 3.7 GPA. And he was also in a fraternity at Michigan State. And I just saw how, like, he was someone who, went to school, did the whole college thing, was part of a fraternity. But then he started his own business and he became a massive success. And, he's probably one of my favorite mentors and one of my best friends, because he showed me what was possible in my first business, my first company in the network marketing industry. He showed me what was possible if I worked my butt off, if I stayed persistent, consistent, that, young people at a young age could earn lots and lots of money, could be successful, could travel around the world, could travel around the country and impact others and help and change a lot of lives, at a young age. Because at the time, growing up, I had never seen, young people earn lots of money, see mass success. I just saw young people, going to school, working minimum wage jobs at Burger King, McDonald's, and Taco Bell, and all these different jobs and everything like that. And yet they were broke. They were dead broke. They didn't have any money. They couldn't buy a car. They couldn't buy an apartment. They couldn't lease an apartment to, begin with. So really, I just saw that everyone was going to the right, and they were all going down the same path, and they were all kind of, becoming the mass, and becoming the sheep. They were all doing the same thing, getting the same result. So I had to look at, like, okay, if everyone's getting this result over here, and yet they're broke, they're kind of busted, disgusted, no offense, just being real, and everyone, and the 2% or 3% are going this way and going this route, and they're earning lots and lots of, money, even millions of dollars a year. I had to choose that route because I saw that was my route to freedom. That was my way out. And that's just what transpired, from, going into sports into business, because I saw that, it was possible. Because if I saw, my friend Luke Kessler and then Alex Morton, who's achieved mass success, in the network marketing industry and entrepreneurship, if those two could do it and they're under the age of 25 years old, then I could do it too. So it was just all about making that decision and observing the masses and doing the opposite.
Pop pow! Guys, if you're listening to this young man, I want you to soak up this energy. This is what it's all about. I got one question for you, Brandon. If you could talk through this computer to that new young entrepreneur, what is the best piece of advice you would give them?
Well, thank you, Lewis. The advice that I would give to a young millennial and a young person, growing up, whether you're 18 years old, 19 years old, 20, 21, 22, 23, and if you're in school right now, continue to go to school, get your degree and everything like that, work and, do what you have to do as far as, that goes. But the advice that I would give to them if they want to start their own business, become their own boss, become an entrepreneur would be, you have to change your thinking. You have to really change your thinking and change how you think. Change how you view the world and you view society. And also, I would tell them to, if you're going to do this thing, you have to take massive action. And you don't have to just, quote unquote, half bleep it. You have to really just, dive and put both of your feet into this thing. And you have to take massive action, number one. Number two, you have to have a bulletproof mindset, because there's going to be so many distractions and so many people that are going to distract you from your dreams and goals, from what you want to do, from what you want to achieve in this business and what you want to achieve for your life, and not just your life, but if you have kids, your family's life, your kids' life, and then your future, wife or your future husband's life and everything like that. So I would say, change your mindset, number one, take massive action, number two, and then number three is you have to have a bulletproof mindset and let nothing, absolutely nothing stop you from achieving your dreams and goals. And then finally, you just got to work your butt off. Like, you really, really have to work. You have to work this thing. And that, believe that it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not even going to happen in a year. But work this thing like a job for 3 to 5 years and have that sickening work ethic and that mindset. And I'm telling you, your dreams can possibly come true. I'm not saying they're going to come true because nothing is given, everything is earned. So if you're willing to work and you're willing to, really, really, really bust your butt for it, you can make it happen. And also that, you're going to just, really be beaten down. I mean, your mom, your dad, boyfriend, girlfriend, your teacher, your professor, your cousins, your auntie or whatnot is going to say, oh, you're doing that pyramid thing, or, oh, you're doing that, BS, or, oh, you're doing that. Oh, look at you. You want to become rich now. Oh, who do you think you are? A big hotshot. You want to go to the league. You want to do all this, whatnot. And you're going to find a lot of haters and people who are going to want to tear your dreams down and literally just distract you from what you're trying to do. But you have to have that bulletproof mindset and then focus. And then finally, I would tell them, just faith it till you make it, baby. Have faith that you're going to do it, and that at the end of the day, you're going to achieve your dreams and goals, make as much money as you want, travel around the world, and impact and change people's lives.
Oh yeah.
Pow! That's what I'm talking about, baby.
I love it. It's
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything you said it's spot on. It's what we would say. Other people's opinions do not matter. Like, your dreams are your dreams. It's not for them to agree with them. It's not for them to, whatever they feel like saying, good, because it has no effect on it. So, I love that. Those are some great.
Not at all. Not at all.
Now, before we go into the last question, is there anything at all that you want to add? You want to make sure that everybody listening to the replay, that they know, that they go ahead and share away. If not, Lewis is going to wrap it up with the last question.
Yes, Sandra, there's a few things that I want to share going forward. Is that, I think truly becoming an entrepreneur has probably been, for sure, one of the hardest things in my life. Like, one of the hardest things in my life that I've ever done, I've ever experienced, because, going into it, I thought that it was going to be a breeze. I thought that it was going to be, a layup or a slam dunk. I thought that was going to be, just a flat out, easy switch from becoming, an employee and working a job and everything like that, and becoming employee minded to become an entrepreneur and become entrepreneur minded. But I've learned that, it's a journey, it's a real journey. And I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I've had, my dad, and I've had my mom, and I've had people that have been in my life or whatnot that, really thought they wanted me to win, with this, and they supported me, but they really just wanted me to go down the safe, secure path, and safe, secure route. And that's going back to, going to school, getting your degree, getting a full-time job, getting a part-time job, getting something that's, safe, and, just having that security, that job security, and doing what they, done in their life. But I've always just had this in my heart, and I've always just known that I'm here for something bigger. I'm here for something for something just so big, that's bigger than me, that's bigger than my family, that's bigger than my parents, that's bigger than anything I've ever done. And, I've seen a lot of my friends and family, just different people in my life, they're just really just not happy. Like, they're just not happy on a daily basis. Like, when you go hang out with them, and we're going to the club, or we're going out to the movies, or we're going on a vacation, or everything like that, yes, they're having a great time, they're excited or whatnot. But then reality snaps back. And after they return from that vacation, or they're going to the bar, they're going to the club, or they're hanging out with their friends, and they go to work, or they go back to school, and then all of a sudden, that excitement goes from here, and it goes all the way down here. It just drops, and they're just excitement, and their mindset and their energy just goes all the way down to almost zero. And it's just like, at the end of the day, these people And I'm not trying to be, mean or, arrogant or cocky or whatnot, but they're just living average and mediocre lives. They're just working a job, living paycheck to paycheck, looking for the government, looking for Donald Trump, looking for whoever to save them and really just, help make their lives better. When honestly, the government, Donald Trump, whoever you support, whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat or whatnot, they're not going to help you. They're not going to save you. And a lot of people are just looking for a path and, just a route where, they can be secure and just live a safe, secure life and never get into trouble, never bend the rules and everything like that. Well, me, on the other hand, I'm like, forget that, okay? This is my life. This is my time. This is my future, If you don't support what I'm doing, okay, I thank you or whatnot, but honestly, I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting. I'm not, giving up any time. This is what I'm here to do. This is my purpose. This is my passion. This is what I love and enjoy doing. And I believe until people find out what they're really happy and passionate about, they're really just going to, just be working the rest of their lives and, just be living a life, that's not really just to them. It's just for somebody else. It's for their wife. It's for their husband. It's for, their parents. It's for somebody else who honestly doesn't have what they want. So I would just say that, I've gone through a lot of hate. I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I've gone through, some good circumstances, some bad circumstances in my journey. But I mean, going to Phoenix, Arizona, going to Las Vegas, going to the places that I've traveled, if it wasn't for entrepreneurship, if it wasn't for this industry of network marketing, I would have never seen any of the things that I've seen, or the places that I've been to, or the people that have come into my life and the relationships that I've been able to build if it wasn't for this. So, I thank God for network marketing. I thank God for entrepreneurship, and I thank God for my mentors and people who have, taught me to read the books, taught me to go to the seminars, taught me to personal development, personal growth, in my learning and in my mindset and my focus. So that's what I would just say. And, at the end of the day, you only have one life. And, if all you're just going to do is just live an average and mediocre life, that's okay. That's fine if that's what you want. But for those of you who want to play big and not play small, I'm telling you, the only way to freedom and to live the life that you want to live and that God put us on this earth to live is you have to become your own boss. You have to become an entrepreneur, and you have to think outside the box. And you have to just avoid the masses and do something opposite and think outside the box.
Boom.
I love it. And what you said, like living on purpose. Because if there is people that they're like love being a nurse and they feel like they're living on purpose doing that. So I feel that whole on purpose thing, that is key. So it's so good to know that you at your age, you have figured out like, no, I am going to live my purpose and what I'm put here on earth to do. And that takes a lot of courage, a lot, because like you said, there is like negativity that comes from everywhere. And we know it. We've experienced it for years now.
Oh, yeah.
So now for people to get in touch with you, what is the best way, before Lewis closes it up for us, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you? Is it Instagram, Facebook, email? Please share, and we'll also post it in the links below. That way everybody can reach out to you, especially if they need some, pump me up. Brandon's a great person to get to.
Most definitely, Sandra. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people can reach out to me on Facebook. My Facebook is capital Brandon, Brandon, capital Jeremy Davis on Facebook. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. And then I also have an Instagram account at lowercase Jeremy Fresh, all lowercase Jeremy Fresh 10 on Instagram. And my Instagram is really, really growing right now. I have over 1,000 followers on Facebook. And I now have over 2,000. Well, I have over 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I have over 2,000 friends on Facebook. So feel free to reach out to me and add me as a friend on Facebook. Follow me as a friend on Facebook, and just add me and follow me on Instagram. And then also people can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter account is capital D Davis Love 23. That's Davis Love together. The D is capitalized, the L is capitalized for love, and then the number 23, Davis Love 23 on Twitter. And yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect. So we'll post the links below for you guys too. And then we're going to have Lewis wrap it up with the last question.
Okay, Brandon, what are the 3 books?
Over here. Sorry, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you leave this earth, what do you want people to remember you for?
Wow, when I leave this earth, what do I want people to remember me for? I would probably have to say, Lewis, what I would like people to remember me for was that Brandon was a fighter. He was a champion. He was someone that when his back was against the wall, when he didn't have any money, when he didn't have any resources, when all hope just looked lost and everything was gone, that Brandon was a fighter. He was a champion for people. He put people first over money. He put relationships. He put travels. He put experiences over money and cars and a mansion or a penthouse or, you know, a villa or a nice watch or a chain even, or, you know, different materialistic things. He put relationships and people and family and values over all of those things. And that he was just trying to, you know, create and change a generation. Because right now I see with millennials is that, you know, if you're young right now and, you know, you're 18, you're 22 years old, or, you know, your age is 18 to 22 or even 24, even 25 even, you know, right now, you know, a lot of people in society and a lot of people in the news and the media, you know, think that we're the lost generation. You know, that the millennials, all we do is want to party and all we want to do is just drink and all we want to do is just, you know, hang out and all we want to do is just sleep in and we're lazy and everything like that. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not us at all. We are people who will change the world. We will change the future. We will change the way people think. We will change the way that the way people earn money in society, because I feel like that there's this gap between, you know, entrepreneurs and people who work a job and people who are employees and people who, you know, just do what they do in a certain career field or a certain job. And we will show people that at the end of the day, you don't always have to do what our parents have done. Because at the end of the day, my parents aren't retired. They're still working. You know, my dad's in his 50s. My mom's in her 50s, and she's still working every single day. My dad gets up and goes to work, works 12 to 13 hours a day, and he's been doing that for almost, you know, 25, 30 years. So it's okay to be different. It's okay to do something different. It's okay to just think outside the box and do what you want to do and, you know, live the life that you want to live, because at the end of the day, you know, this is the only one life you have. So live it up and live it to the fullest and bend some rules and break some rules even. But don't do anything necessarily that would, you know, get you locked up and that in trouble where like the police would come knocking on your door. Just do something that you believe in and that you would literally die for. Do something that you would literally die for, and that every single day you get excited and just fired up to do.
Guys, I want you to make sure you follow this young man right here. He is ready for big things. I know he is. He is so out of the comfort zone. He's making things happen. He is a leader. These are the types of friends that you need in your life. I appreciate you jumping on here with us, Brandon. You have an amazing day. Remember, this is Lewis
and Sandra.
We're from firstclassrvadventures.com, and take care, guys. We love you guys.
Thank you so much, Brandon, for joining us. This was amazing, and we'll stay in touch. Everybody, make sure you go friend request him before his friends limit is exceeded. It's the limit.
Yes, most definitely. And thank you, Lewis and Sandra, for this great interview. I had a great time.
Us awesome. Too. That was awesome. Thank you.